Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Xbox Peace Fight. You guys know the show. We have a lot to talk about today. Before, while the room is still filling up, actually, let me tweet this out myself. I haven't even tweeted it out. While the room is filling up, I'm going to go down the line, ask each one of you guys, what do you have going on with yourself? Post up. Your videos is taking a lot longer than Dr. Dre's. Dr. Dre's. Was it the Chronic? Detox. What's up? What's up with the new videos?
I just knew you was gonna come my way first.
Yeah, bro. What's going on?
You gonna put me out there in front of the chat like that, player? Yeah. That ain't even cool, player.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I got a couple videos I'm working on right now. I just finished my intro. I did some voice work. I put some effects on it, some delays and stuff like that. Representing the broadband bully brand to the fullest. But other than that, I have a busy week at work this week, being that we just announced new products. So I'm gonna try to put out as much videos as I can, because other than that, I'm gonna be doing a lot of overtime this week.
All right, yeah, you know what I mean? Okay, that's what's show. The real Maxim, you there, good brother?
I'm good, brother. What's up?
What you got going on with yourself, man? Talk to me.
Got some content coming out this week. Got a couple reviews coming out in the next couple weeks, along with a couple early gameplays from a few games that's coming out over this holiday season. So stay tuned for that. Plus, still putting out the daily gaming news. Hit your boy up, subscribe, hit all them like buttons, slap your mama, do whatever you gotta do, whatever whatever you feel comfortable with, bruh.
Okay, for sure. King's Blood Gaming, talking. What you got going on, good brother?
Oh man, just dropped a video today. Check that out on my channel. Talking about this little thing with Star Wars Battlefront putting out a 4K 30 mode, possibly. It's a rumor. I'm not saying it's the truth, but it's a rumor, and I'm just I gotta get at it. I hate 30 frames per second in shooters. So y'all check that out. But the channel moving, doing what I do, broadband bullies. What's happening?
Okay, for sure. D just popped in. We fucking open the D. T-Reed, what you got going on with yourself, good brother?
Nothing. I'm in a lot better mood today than I was last week, so I do apologize for that. I dropped 2 videos yesterday. Thank you for everybody who watched those. Shout out to Saltiest Gaming for having me on his show. I had a lot of fun yesterday. We talked about a lot of shit. Yeah, I'm ready to roll. And I'm reading this Destiny article that looks like it was written by a pony.
All right,
that really hates Halo.
All right. Hey D, what's going on, good brother? Have you reviewed any VCRs lately? Talk to me. What's going on? What's going on, good brother?
Betamax will win this war. Facts. No, a video is going up tomorrow on the Samsung frame. It's a television that doubles as a picture frame. It's quite it's interesting. I'll post a video on that tomorrow. I'm playing around with my GTX 1080. Been doing a lot of benchmarks with that.
Wait, I thought you were an AMD guy. What's going on, D?
What happened is I ended up getting a GTX 1080 for really cheap. So
back in the truck, 5-figure discount.
No, actually, no. I got it from a retailer. They thought it was damaged because it looked like there was some liquid on it, and it wasn't. It was a brand new card. Someone must have handled it with wet hands or something and smudged it. But apart from that, the card looked great. So I picked it up. I'm doing some benches on it. But the real goal was to get that card for cheap and sell it back to pay for the Vega that I have coming on the way. So that's just going to be a that's just going to be a temporary fix until my Vega comes later this week, and then that'll be up. And I'll be posting a video on that as well.
Okay.
And also too, I gotta say, I know you did a video on this on the weekend. That fight was everything that I thought it would be, except for the judges' scorecards. What fight were they watching? And one of my buddies, fuck him, he's laughing at us all right now. He actually bet the fight to be a fucking draw.
How much he won?
It was 20-1. He won a lot. He won a lot. There's a lot of zeros behind what he
there was
won.
a lot of zeros. You can't put that number out there.
And you know what? He told me to bet with him, and usually I do bet with him, but I was like, nah, you crazy, man. There's no way that fight's gonna be a draw. Someone's gonna get knocked out, and like, fuck, man.
All right. Well, again, shout out to everybody that just joined the show. What if you don't know, I'm gonna start making the rooms around a half hour early, but everybody join and and start go live a half hour later. So God will, you know, we run on Black Man's Time. So every Monday about 7:30 we make the room and it go live about 8. You know, but you know, running on Black Man's Time. Anyway, getting right into today's video. Shout out to everyone in the chat that said what's up to me. I'm not looking. If you did say what's up, are you guys going to criticize Gran Turismo Sport not having a single player mode on your game? Okay, well, we can talk about that. Other than thank you for that. Voodoo, shout out to everybody in the chat. Getting you guys, like I said, hit the like button for us. It helps the show. Getting right into this, we had some news again. I guess, well, it is what it is. A few months ago, Jess Gordon from Windows Central viewed some marketing promotion stuff. Basically, what comes out with the games, you know, they send it out to retailers and you know, or different websites, whatever the case may be, advertising the game. And at the bottom of you says that the Xbox One X version of Battlefield, Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be 4K. Now, we fast forward to Gamescom, was it last month? Digital Foundry had their hands on the PS4 Pro version, but even then, when they was talking about the PS4 Pro version, they said that the Xbox One version can play up to 4K. Now, there is a trade-off. So we're hearing it's not going to be 4K 60, but it may be 4K 30, 4K 40, 4K 50. Give me your guys' thoughts. What do you think about this? Good news, bad news, but talking.
Well, if it's 4K 50, then you're not gonna really notice that 10%, that you know those 10 frames per second as much. If it's 1030, I gotta say for a shooter that is disappointing, but hopefully they will have a choice in there where you can play it at like 1440p or 1080p, 60 frames per second, which would give you the option, and then you could play it at least that way, right? But I could see it. Like I don't know, because on the PC, with one card, it probably runs like, let's say like a RX 480 or something. It runs around 40-ish, 42 frames per second. So let's say with optimization in the console, if they can get to, let's say, above 45 to 50 frames per second, then I think it's a moot point.
Okay, all right. Mass Post King,
look, I read the article, right, and it pretty much says, and even on the Xbox dashboard in regards to the game, it says HDR. It says 4K on there. Whether that 4K is dynamic or not, it doesn't say. They said nothing about the frame rate. They didn't say if it was going to be 30, 60, or anything like that. They just pretty much said it's not finalized yet. So these assumptions that it's already going to be 30 or 40 or 50 is pretty crazy. I guess everybody assuming that from the variable refresh rate feature that they said that was going to be built into the game, but that still doesn't say that the game will be a lower frame rate. Now,
so they never confirmed 30 frames per second.
No, they never. It's never confirmed. So
the article,
pretty much at this point would say that they will stick to that 60 frame rate, that 60 frames per second frame rate, and we might get a dynamic resolution in regards to the 4K.
I don't think
or anything like that, or they might do the adaptive frame rate too. So I don't know at this point. I'm not pretty much going to speculate on this until we get something definitive.
Well, like I was saying, on the PC, the original one with one card, it's about 45 or 42, fluctuates frames per second. So I could see it running the same, maybe a little bit better because you got more optimization in the console. So I think that might be why they say variable frame rate, because it's probably not a lock 60. But if it's close enough to the 60, honestly, like you're nitpicking at those 2, 3, 4 frames per second at that point. But if it is 30 frames per second, I gotta say that is definitely a letdown for sure.
Because I know the Pro is 1080 60, right?
Yeah, the Pro is the mode that Digital Foundry got their hands on was 1080p 60.
Okay.
So that if they have that mode, then we can pretty much know it's going to be a lock for Xbox One X. And I would even say at that game too, at the specifications of that graphic card, it can run 1440p 60 frames per second.
I said 1440p.
If the Pro running 1080p 60, the X can do 4K 60.
I don't know about I don't know about the 4K 60 to be honest with you. Maybe at medium settings it could do 4K 60, but at max settings it's not going to do 4K 60. But I could see it doing anywhere between 45 to 55 frames per second pretty smoothly.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to go with the variable refresh rate, or it's going to give you mode options. So it'll give you, I don't think it's going to be 4K 60. I think it'll be 1440 or 1800 and checkerboarded up and 60. But I think they're going to target 60 with as much graphical detail as possible. And then the 4K native mode will probably give you the option to unlock the frame rate.
Is this a CPU heavy game?
The particle effects are. Yeah. So it's like a lot of games that have a lot of dynamic multiplayer functionality, like Battlefield 1 and Battlefront, because they're built on engines that are not directly CPU based, but have a lot of CPU touches, will call a lot on the CPU. The only I guess the best part about it is that Battlefront 2 was built on DirectX 12, so it'll have a lot of streamlined communication. So that's why I said it'll have a better push.
Do you know if this is a third-person only game, or is it also first-person?
Nah, you can switch
between
Battlefronts.
It's both.
And they did switch between two. He did state that EA wanted to showcase the game on the X, but due to the marketing deal with Sony, they weren't able to. But they wanted to showcase it on the X. So.
Well, except because of
putting the game in the best light. You know,
if the rumors are true and you can't hit 60 frames per second, abandon the 4K thingy. Go down to 1800p. Go down to 1440p. There is no excuse. You don't let a shooter go at less than 60 frames per second. I'm sorry. You got guys like me who love shooters. Like, I'm sorry, I can't do 30 frames per second on a shooter. I don't own Destiny. You know what I'm saying? Side of the question.
30 frames on Destiny 2 is not that bad. Just saying.
Man, Destiny 2 is trash.
30.
Bro.
30. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going
to if PUBG comes at 30 frames per second, I'll keep playing it on PC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I refuse to go down that road, and anybody who goes down that road, you're strange to me. I can't do it. Or if it has more than one mode, then I'm cool with that. I'll take the 1080p 60 or 1440p 60. That's cool. That's nothing to me. I can do that all day long.
30 frames per second on the first person shooter never been bothered me, because I played Halo for years. Prior to it going to 60 frames per second with Halo 5.
That's because when you experience the 60 frames per second, you cannot go back.
Sorry, trust me.
It's just like going 4K and not going back to 1080p.
Now listen, I don't want to be called the flip-flopper here, but I've always said that I didn't really care about frames per second or resolution. Still don't care about resolution.
That's because you don't understand that resolution also makes it look better. You know what I'm saying?
No, the graphics, the texture, resolution, it is what it is. It's a sharper image. But I give you guys an example. When I played the Destiny beta, and of course I've been playing Gears, played some Halo, played some Titanfall, the game just seems so slow to me. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. You know what I mean? Because I've been playing, I've been training in the dojo, praying to the almighty Gears of War. They'll save me and deliver me from drugs and alcohol. Gears of War saved my life. And I've been playing that, and and the other games online. They move so much faster, and I was kind of turned off by Destiny, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Couldn't get with it. I know people like it for the grind. Some people like it for the story. It is what it is. But what my guessing is that with the 4K native, which I take that with all the bells and whistles and everything turned up, I think it may be for the single player campaign. You know what I mean? Maybe if they're going to do, because they said it can hit 4K. You know what I mean? Single player, again, if it's going to do that in the campaign, I don't see a big deal with it. You know what I mean? 4K with all the bells and whistles turned up, that's something to beat the chest about. Because we all know, again, this generation, they made a big deal from 900p to 1080p or 720p to 900p. It is what it is. But what I want you techie guys to touch on is the FreeSync aspect. You said the Xbox with the what's it called, the VRR, with the FreeSync. Like, what is that about?
That's why I said if they offer a 4K mode, it'll be with the unlocked frame rate. They're not going to lock it at 30. They're going to unlock it because FreeSync, basically what it does is it matches the frame rate or the refresh rate of your television or monitor to your your game. So they'll just go in sync. So on your screen, it'll look and be as smooth as it possibly can be for whatever frame moment you're at. So it'll help games that aren't 60 FPS look smoother, because what'll happen is if you have a monitor that has a very high refresh rate and your game is not performing up to that, sometimes you'll get tearing, or you'll get judder, or you'll get like this weird like haze along the edges of the game because of how the game is refreshing according to your monitor. FreeSync, G-Sync, those type of things sync up those two numbers so that they look smoother during gameplay. So that's why I said if it has a 4K mode, it'll offer it with an unlocked frame rate so that it may drop down, but it'll match up for anybody who has a monitor that can, do that mode.
And when
it'll
drops,
look better.
And when it drops in FreeSync, you don't notice that it dropped. Like you can't see it. It's just
it's just because it'll match, so you won't even see it.
Yeah. And I gotta say too, we don't know if they're gonna use the frame interpolation on this game to get up to 60 frames per second, because in the leaked documents, Microsoft said there is a method of getting 30 frames per second to output at 60 frames per second using this method. So we know that EA does like to take advantage of DX12. And we know that they have a good relationship with Microsoft. So perhaps we might see this implemented in this game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Again, very exciting times. I just look. What thing was you? Just today's Monday. Yes, Sunday. I hopped back on Star Wars Battlefront. Right. Haven't played it in over a year. And right away, played it on the S. I'm like, my God, this game is beautiful. So much going on. Trees are being knocked down. I see dust flying and rocks, little pebbles rolling down the hill. And it was crazy. A couple BGSTs ago, and crap was hyping up Call of Duty, right? And to me, I think Call of Duty is great. They need to change that engine. And you say basically saying you got to sacrifice on the visuals to achieve that 60 frames per second. That was a Frostbite Engine 3. My God, listen. I understand the game maybe what is it? Did they get a bump up to 900p or whatever resolution that it is on the X? That game is whatever. Because I know they got the last Battlefield that got up to 900p. I don't know if they went back and patched some of the older games. I don't know, but I'm saying whatever resolution that is in, that's a beautiful game, and there's a lot going on. Trees being splintered apart, and I'm like, my God. I mean, I can't wait for Star Wars Battlefront 2. I can't wait. And they got the new Heroes mode, Dark Maul, threw us lifesaving and what do you call them, little jets that be flying around? Threw us lifesaving in the sky, knocked one of the jets down. I'm like, wow, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. To me, that's gonna be the shooter of this holiday season. Destiny trash, duty dated. I'm a Battlefront fan. We might start this revolution right now.
Yeah. But real quick about the whole you got to sacrifice looks. They don't sacrifice looks. They sacrifice effects. Whenever they tone down, because the look of something doesn't change, like how pretty it is, or like the certain textures and stuff won't help you get resolution, because if it's not rendering and moving, it's irrelevant to bring the system allocation down. So they do like particle effects or smoke or blades of grass moving in the wind or something like that. Like that's what they sacrifice in order to lock frame rates.
What's of course Call of Duty?
Yeah, Call of Duty, like they do that all the time. If you look at different Call of Duty videos across PC, Xbox One, and PS4, if you look at them, the effects in the background is what changes, not the overall ambience. It's only the stuff that's moving. If it's a static object, 99% of the time they don't touch it. The only time they touch static objects is when they're trying to increase the resolution. In order to smooth out things, they will take down details. In order to break down rough edges, they'll take out certain details, because as they start to smooth those edges, by upgrading the resolution, you'll either see those more, so they remove them. That's when you get textures removed. When you see like whole objects move, that's because they would be moving at the time. So either they would be reacting to the wind or a shadow map that would be reacting to whatever the sun is. It has to have a moving element in order to affect the frame rate.
All right. Well, yes, that was a lot of Chinese math for the casuals out there. Now, with that being said, Fortnite. We touched on this yesterday during the show of BGSC. An Xbox player in cold blood gunned down a PS4 player. But I'm looking. Listen, I mean, are we going to go there and open that can of worms? Now, from what I'm reading, from what I'm hearing, actually, I don't know. They're saying that now the problem has been corrected. Somehow that Xbox guy, no good guy, I bet he was a person of color, weaseled his way into the PlayStation server, was over there having a field day, taking advantage of the less skilled. But what are you guys' thoughts about this? Overall, you said the crossplay. Should it happen by now? Why are they, talk to me.
All right, I got you. This is basically why Yoshida does not want to do crossplay. It is what it is. They know what we do with them shooters. They know what the main game. Let's face it, shooters sell the most, and they know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? If we bump heads, we're gonna kill you. End of story.
But I'm just saying, overall for the community, you know what I mean? I say for the culture. We all get into these little debates online and about whatever. Better games. And then, you know what? Put your 2K in, put your man, meet me in the field. Like, that would be crazy. You know what I mean?
I thought the only needs to happen. It needs to happen not even for the big games, for the little games. Like for games like Rocket League and all those games. I said in the video I put up today, like a lot of these games die off just because on one community or the other, people stop playing. So let's say you trying to get into a match of TDM in some game, and it's taking forever to find a match. But on the other console, they can get into TDM, but they want to play Capture the Flag or something, and they can't get into a match of Capture the Flag. If you merge those two bases, then everything has a build-up popular pool. And no matter how many people keep trying to say that PlayStation games, the reason PlayStation is not doing it is because they have enough people. No, because Uncharted 4 is undoubtedly their biggest series, and that multiplayer died like a month and a half after it was up. I know because I tried to play it the other day with one of my boys. It took forever to find a match. But I'm saying, like, for games that are small, large, whatever, merging these player bases allows for the games to have a longevity factor for not only the people playing it, but how the games are being played, and allows for further innovation between each individual platform. So you'll start to see a lot of gamers on one platform or the other setting up tournaments and setting up, events around crossplay, which will give these games a boost when they start to die. And that can only be good for gamers. Like, real talk, everybody talks about, Xbox is the best, PlayStation the best. Settle it on the sticks. That's what we used to do back in the day. Like, you want to be the best. All right, well, let's pick up this game. Let's play. This allows you to do it no matter what platform you're on.
This is about moving gaming forward. Yeah. This feature will benefit gamers as a whole. It's not just a Microsoft thing or a Sony thing or a Nintendo thing. This feature will benefit gaming as a whole. It will move gaming forward. I mean, back in the day, we used to have a conversation about a universal platform. At some point, gaming will get to where it's one universal console playing all games. Discussions like that. Now we're at a point where we're talking about universal online playing, being able to hop into a multiplayer game, no matter what system you're on, and be able to play with anybody on any system. That is a great idea. It's going to happen, whether Sony wanted to or not, because the more discussions and conversations we have around it, the more gamers are going to demand it. You know, and like Master was saying, websites will be generated from this specific feature. You will have websites that will be tallying wins or tallying how many times both of the services been down and all types of stuff, man. But this will move game forward. It needs to happen, and it needs to happen now.
I am so tired of Sony standing in the way of progress. You know, they're standing in the way of progress, innovation, and they're the only company doing this. All the other companies are on board. Nintendo's on board, PC's on board, Microsoft is on board. Everyone's on board except for Sony. And isn't it ironic that their motto is for the gamers? They're definitely not for the gamers. This doesn't benefit their bottom line, and that's why they're not enabling it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Well, the console war is the strongest Sony has to argue with, and if you give them if they give crossplay, they lose that. So, you know, I can understand why Sony says no.
They lose what?
They lose the console war. Period.
Well, what you mean? How do they lose the console war?
They will lose the console war because it will no longer be, you know, it will no longer be you know, which system do you want to play on more, because it doesn't matter, because you'll be able to play with each other regardless.
I think it would ignite the console wars. I'd be like, let's go.
No, what it would ignite is which one of you suck more. It wouldn't ignite a console war anymore, because
isn't that what it's all about? Who suck more? What players? I mean,
exactly.
No,
it's about who's best at the games. That's
right now. Right now it's about who sells more. And, you know, if Sony gives into crossplay, they automatically lose that, because now people don't have to automatically buy a PlayStation no more. They can just buy an Xbox and play with people on PlayStation.
People, I mean, and again, let's be clear this, right? And I'm not, how you say, dealing from the bottom of the deck here. The PlayStation has been largely successful this generation. It's because they had the better version of the multiplats. They hopped on it. It was $100 more than their console. I'm sorry, than their competitor. And I gave Microsoft crap about this a few years ago. Microsoft, we, like I said, like I don't know if it's really up for debate, but we all know that, you know, more or less, that Xbox Live is a better service than PSN. It is what it is. But the things that we had that Sony didn't have last generation or whatever, you know what I mean? They have whether it's party chat, you know, I mean, little things they couldn't do on PSN. They all have that now. Is it better as this? I'm sorry, is it better than Xbox Live? No, but
yeah, they have the 360 version of Xbox Live, right?
Whatever the case may be, but whatever they still have it. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean. But again, it's not really so much about being the best or what sounds the best. Hey, I got it, I can do it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Before they didn't have it, so. Microsoft, you know what I mean? And so what I'm saying here, that was one of their bragging points. Hey, we got Xbox Live, this, that, and the other. Where Sony has PSN, but you know, I won't say it's, you know, it's just as good, but you know, basically the same features. You know what I mean? If you know the case, but that was one of Microsoft bragging points going, like I said, going into this generation, Xbox Live, and you know, here we have this. We have Pepsi, and we have the how you say the CNC version of Pepsi. You know what I mean? Dr. Cola or something. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But again, I know that Minecraft is a huge game. And Microsoft has this new update coming out for it. Even Nintendo's on board with it. You know what I mean? And if I'm not mistaken, for Sony to get this, you know, new update for their Minecraft on their platform, they have to enable crossplay. You know what I mean? Or they're not going to. And again, I don't care for the game, but you know, Minecraft has a huge community on the PlayStation. It does, you know what I mean? Yeah. It would be foolish for them, you know, not that will, believe it or not, that will make people leave their ecosystem. They can't, you know, because people take that Minecraft stuff serious, bro. Serious, you know what I mean? I know people tease Microsoft about releasing that $400 console. That thing sold out probably quicker than the Scorpio or the Xbox One X, you know what I mean? But like I said, it is what it is.
I want to address something real quick. Mm-hmm. So Omega in the comments doing his normal pony thing, and he said something that I keep hearing and people don't really understand it. He said last generation Sony wanted to do crossplay with Microsoft and Nintendo, and both of them said no. So now what's the difference between Microsoft between them saying no to Microsoft and Nintendo? since Sony is now in the lead. The difference is that both at Microsoft and Nintendo, from the top down, the people in charge are different.
Only true.
From the top down, the people in charge are different. The people at Sony are the same exact people. So how did they suddenly go from wanting crossplay to not wanting crossplay when the people that make these decisions and that wanted it to happen in the first place are the same?
I gotta answer for that. You know why Microsoft?
The fact that they in the lead, that part.
Listen, you know why Microsoft didn't want to mess with Sony and their crossplay and all stuff? Look what happened to their network last generation. Look what happened to their network this generation. You know what I mean? With the hack, they got put down for about 3 months. It was a lot of security issues on Sony, and I'm not saying that Microsoft was right for this. You know what I mean? But they did have a lot of security concerns, especially on Sony's end. You know what I mean? You know. Sure. So I don't know if that answers your question a little better.
No, I'm saying I know. I understand what was happening, but I'm saying that everybody keeps saying that, you know, they didn't want to do it last gen, so the only difference now is that they're not in the lead. No, the difference now is that the people who are making the decisions are not the same people, so they feel differently about how stuff is made. The people who are at PlayStation are the same people who were in charge of the last PlayStation. The only person that left is Jack. Everybody else is the exact same damn person.
Ooh. Yeah, well,
I'll say started at PS3 till now. Everybody at PlayStation is the exact same person.
I'll say this though: any gamer that is against crossplay, I don't know how you can call yourself a gamer, because this is what we do this for, a competition, and to compete on other people on different platforms. I would love to do it, and I'm sure 90% of gamers are with me. So Sony, just let this shit happen already. It's the writing's on the wall. It's gonna happen. So it's either by your choice or you're gonna do it kicking and screaming. But gamers are
you don't want to get the hell out the way.
Yeah.
Period. All right. Again, we can. I guess the room is filling up now. Destiny 2. Let's talk about it. This article floating around that says that Destiny has surpassed Halo. Fanboys are going mad, pulling their hair out the roots, talking to me. Now, I'm not a big fan of either one of the games, but you guys, you know,
it's not true whatsoever. I'm sorry.
Halo has lost some of its appeal, and it's because it is because they changed developers. Of course, Bungie is Halo, is synonymous with Halo, and if you play Destiny, apart from the RPG elements, it pretty much is Halo. You know, it's an evolution of Halo. So I can understand them saying that. And this time around, it has a story. The first one I just couldn't get into because it had no story. Now this one, I'm hearing that the story is good, so I'll probably pick it up in the next few weeks or so. But Halo needs to answer this call. I will say that this last I would say that this last Destiny is outperforming the last Halo. So in response to that, I would have to slightly agree with it, and it's up to Halo now to answer this.
Okay.
An RPG and an FPS don't go hand in hand.
All right. I am not a Halo guy. I've beat every single Halo that exists. I played a bunch of multiplayer across the Halos also. I probably have more time in Destiny 1 and 2 than I do in all of the Halos combined. And no. Just straight up and down no. Destiny does not have more clout than Halo, and it never will. It doesn't matter how many Destinies come out, how many people try to push that narrative. It's just not true. Even the Bungie that makes Destiny is not the same Bungie. The Bungie that makes Destiny is all congruent to Activision. They do everything Activision says, and Activision is trying to turn Destiny into Call of Duty, and it's going to get worse with how they try to nickel and dime.
They're also trying to turn Destiny into an esport, which is also not going to happen.
Again, they're trying to turn it into Call of Duty. I've played probably like 1,900 hours in Destiny 1. I probably played about 400 or 300 something in Destiny 2 since it came out last week. So again, I play this game, so I'm telling you that me not being a Halo guy, like Halo is okay to me, but as far as Halo and Destiny, Halo will always be the king of everything Bungie has ever done.
Yeah,
what way did it surpass it? You know, I mean,
I guess talking about more or less
multiplayer and story, which is horrendously wrong.
And popularity.
Two games, it surpassed Halo in 2. Oh, Lord.
Wait, we're talking. I guess we're only talking about.
I'm talking about the last Halo. I'm not talking about the whole franchise. I'm specifically talking about the last Halo, and Destiny is outperforming it. There's a lot more people playing it. It's sold more copies. It is what it is. Now the whole franchise as a whole.
Right, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the whole franchise.
I don't know if it's. You know what? Let's see what they do with the next game. The next game will really decide where the franchise is going. As of now, I can't say it surpassed the whole franchise. I'll say it surpassed the last game, not the entire franchise. No.
Okay. Well, here's my thing. Again, like I said, we get up to 100 likes. I got some Xbox Live codes here. I'm gonna drop in the chat sporadically. So hit the like button. I got some codes here. I'm gonna give away. Check it out. Right. As far as that, now I think they're talking about more as if more a greater impact on the culture of gaming as it is today. Just from a Marvel standpoint, to be honest with you. And not to take a dig at Destiny or I'm sorry, at Bungie, because Bungie itself is just a name. A lot of the key developers, or the guys stayed behind at Microsoft. You know what I mean? But Bungie, like I said, took their name, took their intellectual property, which is Halo. I'm sorry, which is Destiny. Took it over to Activision, did what they did, right? Microsoft, I don't know how should I say this? Maybe they need to reboot, rebuild. Maybe, but and before ourselves to answer that date, not the damage control, it's a much bigger community now as far as consoles on Sony side and Microsoft side. When Halo came out in 2015, it's 2 years later. Sony's at 60 million, Microsoft at 30-some million. There are much more consoles out in the wild now. So again, though, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. Popularity wise, right now, I think Halo is on a decline. If Microsoft was to release a Halo 5 or Halo 6 this year, and it came out the same month, just talking about on Xbox alone, I think maybe Destiny may outsell it. You think? Is that fair to say? Whether you like the game or not, because it has the casual. I guess you look like this. Halo was more for the, I guess now maybe more for the diehard Xbox fanboy, and Destiny has that casual crowd. You know what I mean? That hip thing, everybody's Destiny. I don't really care for the game. I think it's kind of slow, and there's no reason that a PvP was it 4 versus 4. That game should be 60 frames a second. Like we bugging, and the game don't got no HDR. Like we bugging. Like we ain't doing this here. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like is Halo on the decline? A lot of people didn't like the story. Halo 5. Now listen. Again, I would hate to question some of these guys' integrity, but some people say because of the Keller gentleman locks. You know what I mean? I don't know, Agent Locke. I don't know. I've never really been a big Halo guy. You know what I mean? The times that I did play it, I didn't play it for the story. I just played it, just for the multiplayer.
Halo multiplayer is still strong, bro.
Oh, it is. I'm not
still getting updated, even to this day.
Halo right now, well, not more than Destiny 2, but Halo, even before Destiny 2 came out, had more concurrent players than Destiny, the first one. Playing at once, just because the people play Halo multiplayer. Like Halo 5, for as much as everybody hated the story, which I thought it wasn't like the most horrendous thing I ever played. It wasn't the greatest either. It was like middle of the road. The Halo 5 multiplayer, it grew. Like the numbers continued to grow as time went on, and they're still steadily increasing. And the game's been out for what, 4 years now, 3 years, something like that. So the games are still, or the multiplayer numbers are still growing. They haven't been dropping off. So as much as Halo as a brand may not be Halo that it was before, it's still a humongous franchise. Like it's still recognizable.
Oh yeah,
as a basis. And I think the fact that yes, it's Xbox to the day you die. Like anybody who is a hardcore Halo head, they bought Xbox One just because it had Halo. Those people are going to buy it regardless. But I agree that Destiny is going to catch those casuals. And like I said, Activision is turning Destiny, like everything that made Destiny 1 I guess like its own little niche type thing that had a set of mechanics that made you actually have to learn some part of the game, which is what turned a lot of people off. Destiny 2 made all of that casual. Like every part of Destiny 2 has been casualized.
Well, the thing with Destiny 2 is they now know what direction they want to go in. With the first one, they had no fucking idea what direction they wanted to go in, and it took them over a year to get the direction correct. So the fact that they now have a direction that they wish to go into, and they know which direction they're going into, it makes the game a lot simpler.
No, I don't like the Taken King. Once the Taken King came out, the last expansion for Destiny, they still had all the mechanics of a fleshed out game. Destiny 2, for as much as I've played it, is casual as all hell. Like it is.
Yeah, but that's because they now know what they're doing.
No, it's not that they know what they're doing. They're just trying to get it so that everybody can play it with ease. It has nothing, because Destiny 1, every raid in Destiny 1 had mechanics, then they had sub bosses, and they had a whole bunch of other stuff that you need to do. Destiny 2 is casual as hell. Like all the roles going away so everybody can get all the good guns. Like, and it not being about, because right now it's not about the grind. And once you get the certain guns, you get the origin story, you get the merciless. Like once you get certain guns and everybody has the same exact stats, then it just becomes a very essential thing for you to grind and get certain ways, min-max builds. You don't do any of that. It's all the same. And that's how they created Destiny 2. Again, I played this bitch probably 300 hours in a week.
Check it out, right? Listen here, right? Now, again, I got a lot of slack for this when I brought this up. When I started my rants, last month or right at the E3, whatever the case may be. And it comes to the point where you have to give a franchise a break, right? You know, and I said that, you know, that's why I would like to see Microsoft again work on, or let 343 make something outside of the Halo universe to give gamers a time to miss the game and we do another Halo game. I'll give you an example. Look at Metroid, right? Metroid Prime, whatever the new Metroid's coming out from Nintendo. I haven't played the Metroid game, but they got down. I would love to get a true Metroid game to get people, you know, re-energized into the franchise. You know what I mean? Like I said, you have a huge studio there in 343, right? A huge studio, right? And again, I understand why people should argue me down with this. It is what it is. About they can't make another game besides Halo, which is crap. Like again, you saw Destiny where Activision is doing the DLC for Destiny, where they take the Rats King, the Taken King. They roll those expansion packs out like they're brand new games, so they can do the same thing. Like I said, with the Halo, if that would be the case, right? So again, could you? I listen. I'm gonna ask this question, right, to all you guys on the panel. I don't think Uncharted would have been as hugely successful as it been had we been on Uncharted 6 by now, and had they not took a break and get what do you call it, the Last of Us. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So
stuff that they learned from Last of Us and applied it to Uncharted.
You know. So again, like I said, I raised the question. You know, just to go back, where does Microsoft go from here? They need another hit, right? They need another. Think about it. They're known for shooters, racers, or whatever the case. They still got the best racer on the market right now, right? Mm-hmm. May not have the best shooter anymore. So what do they got to do to go back to the drawing board? You know what I mean? They don't have their own RPG anymore, which is Fable. You know what I mean? So they got to go back to the drawing board and come up with something new. Like, what do you guys feel about that?
I mean, I definitely agree. I definitely concur with your assessment. They do. It's about time, man. It's been a while since the first Gears drop, which gave us that. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely time. Gears, Halo, Forza, those, don't get me wrong, they are great franchises. They are billion-dollar franchises, but it's time for something new. It's time for something fresh, maybe in a whole different genre from even a third person or even a first person shooter genre. Maybe we need to go action RPG like they was trying to do with Scalebound. But it's definitely we need that next big title, that next $1 billion franchise, that next title that's gonna wow us, that's gonna be just as addictive as Gears and Halo multiplayer. I mean, in regards to Destiny, I played a little of Destiny 1. I didn't get into it. I haven't played Destiny 2, so my opinion on Destiny 2 is null and void. But I can say this from this perspective. In regards to Halo, in regards to Halo and multiplayer, you both enter the arena with the same weapons. Neither players have better weapons than each other. You all have access to the same weapons, so the ground is more leveled in Halo 5 in regards to player versus player and the multiplayer, because you all have the same weapons. You all have access to the same weapons, and whether you get to a weapon before another person, well, that's on your gameplay ability. But I know when I'm into Halo 5, I have a shot to win or get as many kills as the next person because I know we're both entering the game with the same weapons. Now, in regards to Destiny 2 or Destiny, I don't think it's like that. I think depending on your level, some people can have better gear or weapons than you, better weapons than you. So I don't know. But in regards to Microsoft needing another big title, they need another big title, and they need it like yesterday because it's only so long people gonna be playing Gears, Halo, and Forza. I mean, in Forza Horizon, it's great. I'm not really into races like that, so but it's good for people who play it though. But we do need another big title.
I mean, you give us Halo 6, and I will say 343 can basically go screw off and go do whatever they want. But I still want that Halo 6 before they do that.
Oh, Halo 6 is gonna be epic. I promise you, it's gonna have to be.
I want to talk to my man here in the track, my man Other Zinc. God bless his heart. My man is a bot to the death of him. He said at next gen 720, that's what Uncharted 4 is dead after a month. How can Uncharted 4 be dead after a month? The game went on to sell over 8 million copies, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I'll tell you actually how. It's because people play it, they beat it, they drop it.
It does have multiplayer, doesn't it? I know some people play that multiplayer.
Yeah, the multiplayer. I guess if you play TDM, but I was trying to play a game of and what the hell is it called? Payload, I think it is. It's like the one where it's like 4v4. It took 8 minutes to get into a match. 8 minutes.
No, listen, I'm not saying that Uncharted made the longevity play wise in someone's rotation as a Halo. I'm not saying that. We can't again say that this game is not hugely successful, or that Naughty Dog is hugely successful. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely hugely successful.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I think he was trying to refer to the multiplayer not lasting as long as games like Halo and stuff, but. Yeah, Uncharted is successful. It's going to continue to be successful. Anything Naughty Dog puts out is going to be successful because a lot of developers, good, bad, indifferent, at some point in time, if they make enough good games, get immediate carte blanche with whatever they do. So everybody thinks it's going to be the best thing ever. Like Fallout games are glitchy as all hell, but when they come out, everybody gives them a pass. They are always horrendously glitchy, but everybody gives them a pass because the studio has that clout. They have that backing of the people in their mindset that it doesn't matter that the game plays very badly as long as I can play it is one of those things. So whether or not they come out and put out a game that's horrendous or great, they will always sell because they have that mind share that they are going to make something great.
It's like
before they do it.
The gameplay is great, and there's so much to do in this game that I can look past the little glitches that I might deal with. Yeah.
Right. So it's just one of those things. Like at this point in time, Naughty Dog has that clout. They have that backing of the people on the Sony side that says anything that they put out is gonna destroy Xbox. Xbox is done as soon as Naughty Dog puts out a game. Like you have those people because that is the mindset that those people have set themselves in.
Bro, gamers have to correct themselves on the statements they be making, man. Look, because I hear this all the time, man, and even in the forums I hear it all the time. Even on the Sony side, the Xbox side, and Nintendo side, we all do it. I even myself included. So I'm including myself. This tendency to say that when one game releases, it's gonna destroy a company or destroy the opposition. Nah, bro, it don't work like that. That one game is not fit to destroy either a multi-million or multi-billion-dollar company.
Especially not a single player game.
Exactly. I don't care how. It's this tendency to say, okay, it's just check the Xbox One X. When the Xbox One X, it's over for Sony. It's over for this. This is gonna be bro. They still gonna be there, bro, doing their numbers. You know what I'm saying? So clean up that talk a bit, man. We be saying some absurd things at times, man.
Yeah. Look. I want to segue into this right here, right? We got to be honest, okay? I understand Halo 6 will be huge. Whatever Halo comes out will be huge, especially the Xbox fans, right? But Microsoft, that's the Halo crowd, more or less, that was there from 2, the casual crowd that was there from 2 and 3, they're not there anymore, right? Now that casual crowd has went on to Duty or Destiny. It is what it is, right? But you're still gonna have your core, your hardcore Xbox guys that love Halo. They're still gonna go out and buy the game, which is still gonna make it be successful, right? Mm-hmm. But again, we're just talking about popularity as far as shooters on consoles. Now, before when Halo 2 came out, or Halo, that was more or less really the first of that kind of game, more or less blockbuster really done big on the console. Halo 1, you know what I mean? You had other first-person shooters, but Halo set the standards, right? Set the mold, right? Now, again, they're not the biggest Walmart on the block anymore. There's on the popularity of the franchise, whatever the case, it's kind of on the decline, right? And the same thing that we said for Gran Turismo. You have a new king on the block, which is Forza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, now you had, which is to date, and people are too much trying to argue me down about this about Uncharted. To date, Uncharted, if I'm not mistaken, is Sony's only $1 billion franchise. The largest franchise to date, Gran Turismo. I'm sorry, Gran Turismo, okay? But again, even with that, Gran Turismo was not the juggernaut that it once was. You know what I mean? I would be surprised if it outsells Forza Horizon 3 or Forza 7. You know what I mean?
It will.
Well, I understand it with the huge franchise, but even though, like I said, over there in Spain, which the game is very popular,
in Spain,
they are don't really care. They're hyping up Halo. I'm sorry, Forza 7, but we shall see. But how do you feel about that? No single player aspect to the game whatsoever.
Is the career still online only? The career mode?
I don't think is there career mode.
I heard it was a career on GT. I heard they had an online career mode. That the career mode was online only.
There's technically not a single player mode. Well, there isn't a single player mode. It's like a hybrid online racing mode that they call career mode. Like
and their net codes always suck, so I have no confidence in this.
Man, where's the outrage? I couldn't imagine.
There won't be any outrage. Like the last GT was trash, was straight trash. Like I have been a GT fan. That's what made me start liking racing games. And the last one was straight trash. Like they haven't changed models, sounds, or any of the infrastructure for how the game was made in 3 damn games. But people keep buying it because it's what they know. Like I said, at a certain point in time, a studio just has that clout where people will buy their game regardless. And GT is one of those things that has the clout and people just buy it regardless. Whether or not they push their games forward. Admittedly, they said they haven't changed anything for at least 2 sets of games, and it takes them so long for these games to come out. Like it literally takes them at least 5 to 7 years pretty much to push these games because they say they start making them before the last one is finished. So how the hell does it take that long to come out with a mediocre ass game?
The last article I read, they said they spent 6 months on one car. They also saying this is fact. This is fact.
I remember that article.
He said they spent 6 months on one car, and that they wasn't building GT Sports for now. They was building it for
The future
systems. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're not really, and if that's the case, they're not really putting their all. And you could tell by the game, you know, because I know he was saying something about 8K, but where I question the outrage is that Microsoft or the Forza team couldn't put out a racing game, without a single player experience, and I have every media outlet on it in the internet condemning them about it.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't happen. If this was Forza, the outrage, the articles, the tweets and things like that. But I guess GT somehow gets a pass. I mean,
yeah, like you remember when Forza 5, when the Xbox One launched with Forza 5, and the game itself looked fantastic. Ran at 60 FPS, 1080p on the system that everybody at the time was talking about how weak it was.
Yeah.
But the only thing that came out about Forza was that it had cardboard crowds. Remember that?
Yeah, they went into the crowd. Bro.
And it didn't have night races.
Right. It didn't have night races, and it had cardboard crowds. Like that's what they focused on.
Yeah, it was outrage. And for years, Forza have been condemned by not having day or night cycles or weather and stuff like that. Now they have all of that. Not only that, they have it at 4K 60 frames per second, player.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? They doing that at 4K 60 frames per second. And it's crazy. Now, me, once again, not owning a PlayStation and not playing GT, that game doesn't affect me at all. But the Sony fans who have the nerve to be outraged towards Forza for having a lack of features and things like that, even though it's a game that they probably won't play, should be just as outraged of this GT Sports that's about to come out, given how long it took for it to come out.
Well, again, I've also said statements this, you know, it seems like when it comes to Microsoft, that the standard is set so high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where Microsoft, with Sony and Nintendo seem to get a pass.
And why the press is not covering this, I don't know, because like there's been betas of this game. I've played like 3 different versions. I played this game way back when. I played it again this summer, and I will say they did make some improvements over last year, but it pales in comparison to Forza 7. It really does not look like a next gen game. Like it was okay. Like I'm not gonna say, oh my gosh, it was horrible, but it like there was a like it looks it's the same old, man. It's the same old. The cars look pretty much the same. I don't like some of the backgrounds, like the mountains. They just look kind of really fake. They look like pictures drawn on or something. It's just, I don't know. It's just lacking something. It's lacking that extra touch, that love. And they've had a long time to create this game. What the hell? Why is the media not giving them shit on this?
Because it's inferior to every damn racing game. It's inferior to Project Cars. It's inferior to Need for Speed. It's inferior.
Better than Project Cars, though.
Like it.
The new Project Cars 2 is actually getting a good.
Yeah, Project Cars 2 is dope, but
I guarantee the handling won't be like it. It's still gonna handle like
Project
it's still gonna handle
dog shit.
Drop D. I totally disagree. I know Forza is a main franchise for Microsoft and that they're focusing on it, but GT is a major franchise for Sony. I don't care what you say. That is a racing game that people that their fan base look forward to every year, man.
Okay. And like I said,
that's not priority. That's not their priority. Nah, man.
You know why?
It's because people are gonna buy it regardless. Like I said, it's one of those things where people just are locked in on the fact that it's GT. I'm gonna buy GT. It's not because the game is good, bad, anywhere in the middle.
I'll check it out. I'll give you an example, right? And I got a lot of the crap when I said this. Maybe let me choose my word wisely here. Being in the state we're in right now, in this racial climate in America, right? I gave you an example as far as with Japan and their developers, how they used to back during the 5th and the 6th generation, they would put out a game, say the game, Dragon Quest, whatever the hell, and spend as little as possible and still sell 10 million copies or whatever they can make, these huge, insane profits. And Japan got stuck in that mold of putting out those little games and making huge, insane profits. But it wasn't until like people like Activision really got a leg up with Blizzard and stuff, and then EA, because back then EA was only really making sports titles, more or less, right? And you had EA pick up Bioware, and they started doing RPGs, and you're like, oh man, we want RPGs like that. And even what's named Kojima said the West kind of got left behind. But check this out, right? The same thing can be said for Gran Turismo, how they're used to spending as little money as possible and still selling 20 million copies of the game. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead, Salty. So I didn't talking. How you feel about this, Salty? Gaming.
Yeah, I just think it's name recognition, like we've been saying. I think it's kind of like the Marios and stuff like that. It's like on that level where so many people know the name, so they can just pump it out. Like if Forza did this stuff, like let's just say they took like a 5-year break in making games, people wouldn't be having that, But since it's been around so long, I feel like they just kind of feel like they can do whatever they want and they make that money, So why would you put the effort in, So I don't know. It's interesting.
Again, I now you, like I said before, you have and I'm not really into simulation races, but what I eat don't make no shit. But now, like you said, you can compare them. You have not want to compare them, but first you have Forza was the new kid on the block, right? But Forza has each iteration of the franchise has continued to get better and better. Now, me, I like the Horizon series better. I do the motorsport, but that's just me, right? But if you're getting better, better, and better with each outing, we're here with Gran Turismo, so like it's going down, down, down. Or people compare the two, like this game was launching with less content than Forza 5. How is that even something? That was a launch game for the Xbox One in 2013, and people, the media, banged on Forza 5 for the lack of content, and GT Sport has less content than Forza 5. You're talking about the hypocrisy right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good call right there, Z. I remember that.
So again,
if this game is rated higher than 86, so the numbers are fixed, bro. I'm sorry. There's no way in the world. Like that little bit of content, not to mention the game looks like trash. Let's be real, bro. Like people talking about, well, y'all just judging the background, bro. What am I supposed to do? Judge just the back of the car? Like I gotta look at the background to know where I'm going. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I gotta look ahead on the road to know where I'm going. I'm a big racer player. Y'all know I play Forza all day long. Like Forza is miles ahead, man. It's not even a fight anymore when it comes to which game is better. But people love GT. I can't lie. GT damn near taught me how to drive, so it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, I'm being real. I learned to drive late than everybody else, so I was playing GT heavy back then. You had to get the licenses and everything like that. It just is what it is.
The hours that I put into GT, I put so many hours into.
Why? It was new. We never had a racer like that where you got to get the license and do different things. Like that was totally new. So I give them credit for that. That was
the graphics and the replay cameras. Holy shit, they looked real.
Yeah.
Wait. I got my man. Wait, hold up. You got my man. Omazi out doing that non-profit work for Sony. Like, come on, we gotta call a spade a spade.
Holy shit, man.
My man, he said, what the hell he said? I'm looking for.
He said they only got 6 main games, and then he said GT Sport. He said GT Sports new
that's not the comment I'm talking about.
Graphics are blowing people's minds.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Yes, it blows. I agree.
Hey, he says, he said Gran Turismo Sport new footage blows minds as the numbers polishing comes late.
Hey, my thing is how come people just can't get Forza as props, man?
Facts.
Because it's on Xbox, bro.
Facts.
If you look at superior, just admit it. What's the problem? You're not gonna get crucified if you do.
and I'm not taking anything away from GT. GT is definitely a staple in the racing genre. It has definitely cemented its legacy in the racing genre as far as kicking things off, especially on what it does in regards to simulation racing. But the strides that Forza has made from the OG version all the way up into now has been crazy, bro.
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to hear what All Day said again. I'm sorry. I think I accidentally pulled his mic out. Say it again. What? Say it again.
You say what?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. I just heard about Gran Turismo. Give us his prop. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Say it again, though. I'm sorry. What you say, bro?
No, I said it's not that hard to give Forza its props. I mean, it's
I'm saying Gran Turismo.
Oh nah, fuck no.
I'm talking about Forza, man. They built the community off delivery system alone. It's people that buy Forza just for delivery system and create cars.
Right now, you see this, right? And again, I got a big, not that I care, but people, they get it maybe a year from it. When other people start covering it, and then they go, "Oh yeah, they should do this," right? And I said, you take Turn 10, right? Extremely talented. They put out top notch games, right, with the Forza series, right? Big studio, state of the art, big budget, right? You mean to tell me again, what they did with what they're doing with Forza, right?
Here we go.
That they can't make something outside of that. Listen, check it out, right?
Here we go.
No. Listen. Again, check it out, right? Because if you look at listen, they can, because if you look at Playground Games, their next game, guess what it is? It's a MMO. It's supposed to be with a lot of buzz around it. You know what I mean? So again, and this is coming from somebody over there in Seattle.
Playground Games does not make Forza Horizon from the ground up. They basically take a whole engine. They take all the
pretty much Forza 7 engine.
All they doing is designing the land.
That's not the same engine.
Like
it is. It's the same engine as Forza.
It's scaled down a little bit. What is a simulation racer?
It's scaled down a little bit. It's the same thing.
Z, I know you're not trying to say that Turn 10 should make another game. I mean, outside of Forza, right? Oh, no,
Z, let me tell you something. When I look at Turn 10,
you got a glass eyeball and you diabetic, bro. You ain't the clearest.
Look. When I look at Turn 10 and I saw all those developers standing in that parking lot, and I seen all those exotic cars that was in that parking lot, all I seen was racing fans. Developers that are just extremely racer fans and that they're doing what they love. Could they make a game outside of Forza? Yes. Will they? I don't know.
Someone's been sleeping in my bed. Someone's been sleeping in my bed too.
The coalition and 343, I give you that. Leave
Coalition working on something new right now. Coalition working on something new right now.
As I said before, and I hate
you're going too far. Playground Games, I can understand, but not Turn 10. Somebody got to work on what they know.
Playground Games is doing something different way before Forza.
And if I'm wrong, may I stand corrected. Now, maybe one day you guys are going to believe. One day, my black brother D beat me down about Jesus.
You over there sniffing that dust off the windowsill, bro. You gotta get right.
Listen to me. He beat me down about Jesus last week. He beat me down about the CUDA cores, and I tried to tell him. Listen here. Listen to me, okay? Maybe again, I'm asking you guys. Maybe it's not the context of my character, but maybe the color of my skin. I'm telling you something. I have no reason to. My opinion is my opinion. This is coming from over there when they said I don't go to school to be $100,000 in debt to make car games. I didn't just say that. I didn't say that or pick that number out of my ass. This is what was told to me.
You know what? I would love to see them, and shout out.
Well, they're the ones that should leave. They should just get going there.
Games trailer in the chat. I would love to see another Project Gotham Racing.
Check it out.
We probably won't see that.
I'm about to check that shit right here, right? I'm gonna still show with this one right here, right? What was Nintendo's their best racer? I remember one, as far as car games. You know,
RC Pro-Am.
And who the fuck made RC Pro-Am? Rare.
How would I know?
Rare.
RC Pro-Am was one of my favorite games.
It was made by Rare. So when I tell you that again,
you act like RC Pro-Am is as freaking
okay, but look how far technology
is on Forza. Like, come on, bro, stop it, man. Stop
customization. Customization of Pro-Am was bar none.
But look what they had to work with, 8 bits. Are you serious,
bro? That's back then. They didn't have to do gears. All they had to do, it was a top-down racer, bro. Stop it. You could at least bring up Rad Racer or something like that. You brought up RC Pro-Am. Stop it,
ladies and gentlemen. What's up, man? RC the King. Listen, mark today's date down. And what's today's date? I don't know. September what? 17th?
Day I said and told myself.
Okay, listen. Mark today's date down, right? Did I give all these niggas L's? Watch what I'm telling you.
Nah, let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Look.
Max.
Now,
come on, man. You sounded like
Let me tell you something. My man, maybe one day they're gonna listen, but it is what it is, man. You know what I mean?
Look, Turn 10 do have
next year on something powerful.
Yeah. Turn 10 do have developers on their team that worked across multiple genres. But like I said, when I look at that studio, them boys are car enthusiasts. That's all. And even outside of that, you should see their parking lot, bro. That's all they. Bro, if you see the picture of their parking lot, that's all they do. That's all they do.
Saying this, bro. If you walk inside 343's studio, you ain't gonna see them a Master Chief and Agent Lock in the back washing dishes.
Right. He said outside though. They are car guys, so they car guys who make videos.
Of course you're gonna see a Ferrari in the parking lot. What are you talking about?
No.
You're talking about the tricked out normal employee.
I'm talking about these are not normal. These aren't just Ferraris. I'm talking about these are custom cars, bro. Just decked out. Not all developers are car lots look like they
car rich, man.
Bro, they are car enthusiasts. They do not want to do anything else, bro. They're doing what they do.
It go beyond just gaming.
Y'all gonna come on a record and make that bold blanket statement again? No, I'm just saying. Are we gonna go there?
I'm not saying they can't make another game outside of Forza, but I'm saying though they're
Hey Garrett, King's Blood, are you gonna make that blanket statement?
I'm making that statement. I'm making that statement. I'm making that statement.
Hey, bro.
I'm making that statement. Turn 10 does not want to do other games.
Okay.
If they do, it's going to be something to do with racing. I guarantee you.
Let's do it. Go beyond just gaming. It's in their lives. If you look at their custom cars and stuff like that, how they got it decked out with
How about this, right? How about we do this, right? And I want a public apology, right? How about I'll show you a conversation after we go off live here and let you talk, see some of them over there in Turn 10, okay?
Okay.
It don't matter. It ain't the head dude that Turn 10. What does it matter?
We say this all the time.
Apology.
One does not
listen.
One person opinion doesn't affect the whole group.
Here's my disclaimer, right? I have no reason to lie. My opinion is my opinion. Okay? I don't just come out and make blanket statements like that. I didn't go $100,000 in debt just to make car games. Okay?
So he can leave and do as he please.
No, we have bills. That's not realistic. We hate their job.
He got to text lemon.
Yeah, okay, how many people hate their job, right? How many people hate their job, right? You know what I mean? I hate my job. What I do, I dance naked for old ladies known for. I hate my job, right? But I got to pay my bills. I pay my health insurance. Got car insurance. I just had twins. You know what I mean? Again, these people, you got to realize, regardless of what they may make is great, these guys are artistes. They're artistes.
Yeah. And they also work for a company that makes a lot of money, and it's not going to be dropping anytime soon. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. They're going to keep making that money, and they're going to stay right there in them seats and get them cars ready every year for us. Trust me. You can say whatever you want. If they don't want to do it anymore, bye. Turn 10 still working on them games. You say whatever you want.
It's not when it comes to gaming, there's no such thing as a ceiling, man. There's always ground for improvement. So the next iteration, you always make the next one better than your last one. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
I just want to say this one thing, and I'm gonna shut the hell up, right? I'm gonna say this last thing, right? Because I really, but you with the old Forza game, because it's what you're looking for in making Forza games, right? Or like you've known Lionhead Studio for making Fable, right? Have they made something outside? Well, even look at Rare, right? They made all types of games, killer instinct fighters, racers. They're making them now a slave simulator with some boat stuff. They're making all types of stuff, right? Whatever the case may be, you know, I'm just making them a little. Pay me no mind, right? But again, they are artists, okay? And just because you enjoy one particular genre for them, does not mean that's all that they can make. Okay?
Yeah, I know. I didn't. We never said that they couldn't.
No, my man, that's all they want to make is Forza. I like Forza. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't heard or know any game that came from Microsoft that used the Forza engine in regards to another different type of genre of a game that was created with the Forza engine. As far as I'm concerned, the Forza engine has only been making racing games. Now, is that engine built to make other type of games in different genres? Who knows? Another one of the.
Listen, we talking about the third wealthiest goddamn company in the world.
Come on, Z, man. Every time you hit that K2, you want to drag the show out long with this bull, man. Come on, bro.
I'm gonna get these work.
Getting that work right now. Getting that work right now.
Hey, Salties, man. Listen, you feel my pain.
He does.
You can drag me into it, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He looking for some help right now.
I don't mean I'm used to listen. I compare myself to Noah. I'm out there building that ark, and I'm telling you guys the storm is going to come. And know you guys are out there laughing at me, okay? All right, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take the high road, bro. I'm gonna take the high road. Listen, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you this fact, okay? But when I would like a public apology in the video, okay? I said, next gen, you were right. You're the Messiah, and you can date my grandmother anytime. All right? You gonna make the video for me?
Z, just be happy that the coalition is working on multiple projects right now.
Why should I be happy about that? They should be.
Because they're doing something.
Listen, why do we hold?
They're working on something other than Gears. That's what you've been asking for, right?
This is what I don't understand. Like, far as all jokes aside, as Xbox guys, right? We got these studios which are well funded, right? Huge studios, right? All these different art, maybe 400 people here, 500 people there, right? All that, right? Yeah. And say that with these huge budgets and whatever the case may be, that they can't do anything or outside of that. And listen, I don't buy the fact that Naughty Dog is just so much better. I don't go with that. You know what I mean? This one's trying to argue me now. It is what it is, okay? The fact that they took how many people? 4, if I'm not mistaken, and started on The Last of Us. And we can argue to say The Last of Us is a bigger hit than the Uncharted series, okay? So whether you like what they're making, fine, or what they can do, fine. I get that. But you can't tell me you can't put 20 people away in a room, so in the back closet, and have them start working on something else.
They made a game. They made games that are similar to the last game. Like, are you, bruh? You are comparing apples to oranges here, bro.
You know what?
They took them off. They took them off of what is that? Uncharted and The Last of Us are not too far different than the same thing.
Crap is reincarnated. Jesus Christ and King Blood Gaming. Megaton. I gotta close it. I gotta close this. So I can't take this anymore.
Listen, shout out to Crap Gamer because this man talking crazy. 343 and the coalition. Cool, you got that. Turn 10, you bugging? Come on, bro. Forza got come out every year.
Z,
it is what it is.
Maslin asked your question. Maslin answered your question, bro.
What's up?
But we can't talk about it on air. We have to talk about it off air.
Answer my question.
But he answered your question in regards to sitting 20 people to the side. Remember, we was off air a while back. But we can't talk. We can't talk about it. But Maslin know what I'm talking about.
When I was high, what's talking me? I don't know.
No. Also, we can't talk. We got to go off air.
I remember what you're talking about, Post.
Yeah.
Also, a few of those developers that are going around helping to get games on the Xbox One, helping optimize, I believe they're from Turn 10, bro. I'm not sure, but I believe they're from Turn 10 because remember, Turn 10 was like the first people that actually know how to get 1080p on the Xbox One X. I mean, the Xbox.
They was instrumental with the development of the Xbox.
I'm glad you said that, right? I don't want to give away with all my material, right? But that is when the teams that come from them, they'll go around when Take-Two, I mean, Rockstar needed help getting Grand Theft Auto up to 1080p on the Xbox One. So again, to say that they can only make car games is
that's helping optimize, bro. They're not over there helping create the game, bro.
Yo, you hear what I'm saying?
Yo, you reaching right now, bro. You reaching.
How am I reaching? When I talk to
helping optimize a game is not helping create a game.
People from over that way who said that, hey, we can do it all. We can do it all. What you guys talking about? No one goes to schools just to draw cars. Is what I'm telling you, bro.
I know what they're doing though.
Bro, you hear me? What I'm telling you, bro. You know what I mean?
I know what they're doing though.
But it is. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not enjoying, if you think next gen is high on its own supply, hit the like button.
K2.
If you think my man King is the black crap reincarnated with the megatons. You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys is crazy. Crap got swept away in Hurricane Irma
I heard he lost his Xbox One S.
Oh, you did?
That's what he said on Twitter.
Oh wow. Jeez.
Oh man,
okay.
That wasn't it. Was funny.
Hey, how you pronounce your name? I just always call you Jones. Rochester Jones. One again. I'm 100% agreeing with Zaire. I'd love to be in your next multiplayer panel. Invite me to the next one. Not a problem. Holler at me. Inbox me on Twitter. We talk, Jones. Shout out my man Salty Gaming. His brand is growing. Like we said, we out here working, man. Lex has shout out everybody in the chat. Voodoo. My man Z Black. Shout out everybody in the chat. Hit the like button. I got some codes for Xbox Live. I get up to 100 likes before we close the show. I'll drop the codes in the chat right now. Everything. Oh, so like I said, you just joined kind of late. What do you got going on with yourself? What you working on? Tell people.
Yeah, I'm bouncing around podcast. I was actually on a podcast before this, and then I was going to the gas station, and I, turned the podcast on. You hit me up. I turned around. I got on. But
I appreciate your dedication.
Yeah, we're doing, I'm doing videos and stuff like that. But
what was headed to the gas station?
Oh, I didn't know neither was.
Turned around for the podcast.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, Neil, I'm sorry. I didn't even know you were here. Let me ask you a question, Neil, before we go. Right? Listen, you're my man, right? You're my man.
Oh, my God.
You know, you're my man. You're my man. How long with us in this podcast? How long you been here?
I've been listening for like the last 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. You missed a lot of the bullshit.
Yeah, I just hopped in.
Okay, but anyway, let me ask you this question. Would you like to see Turn 10? Well, how you feel about Turn 10 making something outside of the series?
Yeah, you see, I gotta go with Garrett on this. He said 343 public. I get that. Turn 10, I don't know.
The multiplayer podcast, we're out of here.
I'm sorry, Z, I can't do that one.
Straight cuts off. Yeah.